Going on, everybody? It's Key Time coming back to talk about the NBA Finals Game 2 from last night. Now, Game 2 was a little bit tighter than Game 1. I'm going to get into all of the players that had a huge impact on the game and including the defense for the Boston Celtics. So, before I get into it, happy Monday morning, everybody. It's June 10th, 8 o'clock of this great year of our Lord, 2024. Now to the game. Now, the storyline from game one was Boston's defense and Boston blowing out Dallas. The storyline for game two was how would Dallas bounce back? And Dallas did not bounce back. I mean, outside of Luka basically giving it all that he had a triple double. He had 32 points, 11 rebounds, and 11 assists. Now, he had his double figures. Daniel Gafford had his double figures, 13. PJ Washington had 16. Derrick Jones Jr. had 11. Derek Lively had 2. And also, Tim Hardaway did not play in this game at all. I believe Jason Kidd, he is going to have to give Tim Hardaway some valuable minutes in order to not just keep this series close, in order to make the series competitive. Because right now, you have, when Luka and Kyrie is on the floor, you have two people that can make any type of shot that they want. And then when you have Derrick Jones Jr., PJ Washington out there, and Daniel Gafford, they maybe can hit 3 or 4 threes if lucky, because there was some last night where I seen Daniel Gafford, he tried to make a 3, air ball. Then PJ Washington, he tried to make a 3, another brick. So outside of Luka and Kyrie, where does your scoring come from? And because we all know that Luka is going to get his touches and his points, but outside of that, you have got to get one of these players, whether it's PJ Washington, Daniel Gafford, Derrick Jones Jr., to be a legitimate scorer. Because it was many times where Max Caliber was out there and the Celtics would just let him shoot. They would just let him shoot. He would get the ball, shoot it, and it would be a brick. He is no threat out there. When you have a team that will leave a guy wide open, knowing that he gonna miss the shot anyway, that just tells me that the opponent doesn't see him as a threat. So Jason Kidd, he needs to take him off the court. He really does. So as far as the lineups concerned, he need to switch the lineups up. One thing that he got to do is he has got to put Tim Hardaway Jr. in the game, because if you don't play Tim Hardaway Jr. in the first quarter in game 3, you are gonna have a heck of a mountain to climb. And don't let this series get down 3-0. This is why I said that game 1 was the game for Dallas to win, because Dallas in the first quarter of game 1, they were playing their style. They were up by 4 late in the first quarter, and then all of a sudden that Celtic avalanche started to come. Then they started turning the ball over uncharacteristically, and then that's what made them lose game 1. Now game 2, they had chances to they even tied the game. And it seems like on that sequence where they were down by 5 late in the fourth quarter, and the Celtics, I said the Celtics, they didn't need to try a 3 right there. It was it was a minute and 30 seconds left, and they were up, and the Celtics were up by 5. Now, I was saying that they don't need to try a 3 there. They needed to get into the paint. So, Boston Celtics tried a 3, long rebound out to Kyrie Irving, and it's almost like Derek White hurt me, because I'm like, okay, somebody is gonna have to block this dunk. But what thing that Derek White did, he wasn't focused on Kyrie, because Kyrie was in front of him. He was focused on PJ Washington. So he was focused on PJ Washington. He gets to PJ Washington, blocks it, and then that's basically where the Celtics won the game. Not to mention that Derek White, he was a contributing factor on the offensive glass. Now, Derek White, he had 18 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 assists. And the most critical play of the game was that block, because if he doesn't block that right there, Dallas, they have the lead down to 3, and we are looking at a whole different scenario. If Dallas get the ball back, would they have tied the game? Who knows? But the block was critical, and also as that, the Celtics had 5 blocks in the game. Celtics had 5 blocks, and Dallas had 3 blocks in the game. But what really, those turnovers for the Dallas Mavericks, they really hurt, because at the end of the game, I looked at the end of the game, they had 15 turnovers, and the Celtics had 10. The Celtics had 10 turnovers. Now, one thing about it is, despite a bad shooting night from the 3-point line, the Celtics managed to win this game. Usually, if they go 10 of 39 from the 3-point line, they usually lose. Now, in past series, they had trouble with winning game 2s. Now, the last series, Boston, they won a game 2 versus the Indiana Pacers. Before then, they couldn't win game 2. Now, since they won game 2, and their top guns didn't even have the best type of game, and they still won. What if you the Dallas Mavericks? What can you do when you get home? Really, I mean, you had game 2. Everything was at your disposal. Everything was at your favor. The largest lead that the Celtics have was 12. And you got that down to 5, 6, 4. They got it down to 4 at one point in the game. So, Dallas, they've been right there these last 2 games. If they don't do nothing, if they don't win game 3, then the series is over. I'm not going to say that it's a sweep, but it's certainly looking like a sweep right now. I mean, when you look at, I'm going to go down a list of how many players for the Celtics were in double figures. When you go down 3-0 against a team that has Jason Tatum scoring 18 points, Jaylen Brown scoring 21 points, Jrue Holiday on the defensive side making Kyrie Irving turn the ball over. And on the offensive side, Jrue Holiday had 26 points, 3 assists, 11 rebounds, and Kristaps Porzingis having 12 points and 4 rebounds and 1 assist. And also, I believe that this shot was a momentum changer, because late in the third quarter, the Dallas Mavericks was getting momentum, but Peyton Pritchard made a 3-pointer, and it gave them the momentum right back. And the Celtics, they did not lose the momentum in the fourth quarter. Even though that Dallas was getting closer and closer and closer in the game and got it down to 5, they still didn't lose the momentum of the game. So, as far as stats-wise, free throw shooting, Dallas was 95% from the free throw line. Dallas, they was 16 of 24 from the free throw line, excuse me. Boston was 19 of 20 from the free throw line. Also, Dallas had a bad shooting night. They were 6 of 26 from the 3-point line. I said earlier that Boston was 10 of 39 from the 3-point line. And also, Boston got out-rebounded on the glass, but still won the game. I will tell you, offensive rebounds, Boston out-rebounded Dallas 10-9. Defensive rebounds, Boston out-rebounded Dallas 31-21. Total rebounds, Dallas out-rebounded Boston 43-41. So, where the Dallas Mavericks lost this game was turnovers and also defensive lapses, because there was a lot of times where in the third and fourth quarter where they got the game close and then they have a defensive lapse, a misassignment here, a missed shot there. Basically, the Dallas Mavericks took too many threes last night. When the threes aren't going in, you get down into the paint. Now, they had the advantage in the paint. They really did. They had 52 points in the paint. The Dallas Mavericks had 52 points in the paint, and the Boston Celtics had 48 points in the paint. So, what can the Dallas Mavericks do? Can the Dallas Mavericks hold home court and win games 3 and 4 to tie this series? It remains to be seen, but you got to have more play from these three players. That I believe these three players, they got to at least put up 20 points. Daniel Gafford, P.J. Washington, Derrick Jones Jr., and I'm going to say Derek Lively II. He has to put up at least 20 points in Game 3 and Game 4 in order for this to be a competitive series. If they don't, I see this being a clean sweep, a clean 4-game sweep. And with that, that is my reaction from Game 2 of the 2024 NBA Finals. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, click the notification bell to get notified of all of my reaction videos, shows, and other content. And remember, always one thing, I always leave y'all with this. Remember, the key is always on time.